Now, what do I tell you about our first guest tonight? Well, last time he wrote a book was 20 years ago, and he's at it again. It's called The Looney, an Irish fantasy. Don't ask me, friends, to tell you what it's about because it's too long and too complicated. But it's another wonderful, imaginative, zany piece of work from the wonderful, imaginative and zany brain of Mr Spike Milligan. Let's have a welcome. Spike, here he is. Walk down. Please sit. How about it? Here you are. How nice to see you and how wonderful you're looking, sir.
Thank you. I had the operation.
It did you a power of good.
It did, yes.
What did they remove, Spike?
Bits.
Yes.
Important bits. I put them in a plastic bag and I've got them in the fridge for the hot weather. You work it out.
It is 20 years since your last novel. What
Yes.
possessed you to start writing again, Mr. Milligan?
Money.
Just that.
Yes, is there anything else?
Not a lot, Spike. Right? Not a lot.
No.
Now, the book is about a fellow called... Just let me give you the gist. The book is about a fellow called Old Looney who lives in
The
Kilburn.
Looney, yes. Mick Looney.
And his father on his deathbed told this fella, like every parent in Ireland, that he was descended from the high kings of Ireland.
That's right,
And
yes.
he comes to Ireland to claim his throne.
That's right, yeah.
Yes. Spike, all the way through, you've been criticised for sending the Irish up something awful in this book.
We've always been sent up. We've always overcome it, though, haven't we?
I suppose we have.
Yeah, we are the makers of dreams, singers of song.
But what is your defence to this accusation that you're sending up and making a mockery of your own countrymen? They are, after all, your own countrymen.
What accusation is this?
This accusation that people say you're sending us up, you're making a laugh and a mockery of us.
Well, don't read the book if you haven't got a sense of humour.
That's true.
That's it. If you haven't got a sense of humour, just forget it. So it's no way. Either you've got a sense of humour or you haven't. It's a fantasy. It's really based upon my father, who was very, very Irish and spoke like that. Says, them people over there don't know nothing what they're talking about. and I thought everybody spoke like that. And he was so imaginative. You know, I thought he's a wonderful father, marvellous father. And he told me, he tried to convince me that he used to ride with Quantrill's guerrillas in the Mexican War, and that he fought with Jesse James and robbed a bank in Brownsville in Texas. And I thought all fathers had done bank robberies and knew Jesse James. And then years and years later, when I'd grown up, I thought, well, this is a lot of... He's been spoofing me all these years. I said, look, Dad, look, I'm 50 now. Look, I can go out on my own. I said, all these stories you've been telling me, they're all lies, aren't they? He said, oh, yes, that's right. I'm glad you recognise the difference, he said. I said, well, why did you tell me all these lies? He said, well, what would you rather have? He said, would you have an exciting lie or a boring truth? So that put the stockers on me. So I thought, well, he brought me up with a very... I never had this blinkered imagination. He always went that way, like this, and... I could never have written like I do without him, because he was just such a power of information about Ireland. The first book I wrote, I'd never been to Ireland.
Puckoon.
Yeah, Puckoon, yes. And I thought, I wonder if from the way he talks about Ireland, I could write a book without ever going there. And I did, and people thought I actually was very familiar with Ireland, and I hadn't, so... It was a triumph for my father's description of Ireland that did it, you know.
Puckoon must have one of the greatest opening sentences in literature. Standing at the window looking out of the back garden to your mother, she was digging an air raid shelter at the time.
That was Adolf Hitler, my partner's downfall.
No, that was Puckoon.
That was Puckoon, that's right, yes. I didn't know what you... I don't know what you've been drinking, Gay, but I like half a bottle of it.
It is, to say the least, an imaginative sentence. Now,
well, he was so Irish. I didn't know that, like, he'd say things, you know, if my father was alive today, he'd have been dead 10 years. What did you say? What was that?
Yeah. He was a sergeant, though, in the British Army. You couldn't have been poor, Spike. I mean, you weren't really poor.
Well, when we came, I was part of the Irish diaspora. My original ancestors came from Buncrana. In 1830, it was about the time of the potato famine that all the young men of the family named them as O'Malagoin. Milligan's the English bastardisation of the name. And they actually joined the British Army just to survive. And of course, as a result of it, I was born in India because my father was posted there. I'm the Irish diaspora, yes. That's why I'm living in England today and not having lived in Ireland.
But you weren't poor, or were you? I mean,
we were all right in India. We had servants because your money went further and you paid these poor servants next to nothing. And when my father was dismissed from the army, we came back to England. Then we were poor. It was
poor?
Very poor. Well, poverty is when you got, they say, pardon the language, but when you got the arse out of your trousers. Yes. Well, we had the arse out of other people's trousers. Yes, we really were poor, yes.
Yeah. But a happy childhood with this man.
This man was magic for me, you know, and he's such a magic creature. He couldn't have been like that unless he'd have been Irish.
Yeah.
He had to be. I suddenly realised there was an entirely different mind at work, a very hilarious, imaginative mind all the time.